Hello everybody. You have no idea how often I tried to do that video now in one shot, and I hope this time it's going to work out because I don't cut, I don't edit, so of course I try to do it as flawless as I can, but yeah, sometimes you make really stupid mistakes, like in one before I called an earthworm a rainworm. I'm sure nobody in who speaks English knows what a rainworm would be. So yeah, let's give it another try now. Um, this is my first video that I do since a longer time in English. I do on my Vimeo channels, I do German-based videos, some of them exclusive for Patreons, but also not as many as it may seem now, but still I'm vlogging there. And this time I wanted to try it again on YouTube with my super Austrian accent that I hope it's not too much of a distraction. And the subject I want to talk about, because it was something that really went through my head today a lot, is the subject of expectations. Expectations is something, I don't say that you shouldn't have them. There's a lot of saying that expectations pave the road to disappointment. And I agree with that. That's actually true. If you expect too much from friends, partners, on various subjects in your life, you get the risk to be disappointed if it doesn't turn out the way you think or as you expected it to be. And yeah, that is something that can be very hurtful, especially also for the other person, because they don't know what you expect, you know. So you're expecting something, it doesn't come the way you think it should come, and so you're disappointed. You change your behavior, and the other person senses that, doesn't know that she did or he did anything wrong, and yeah, and there's trouble boiling in the background. So this is one way where expectations can be really a pain in the butt and something that I really have to practice a lot, especially in the material world. But there is another kind of expectations where it can really become a blockage on your way, and that is expectations in spiritual experiences. It happens a lot to me that I have students, or if I talk to friends, they read a book with certain rituals. They read the experiences that people have with these rituals. And then they practice it exactly like it's written down, as it's said, and nothing happens. Or maybe something happens, but they don't realize it because they expected it to happen like it was experienced by the other person who wrote it down, who vlogged about it, who blogged about it, who put pictures on Instagram and Facebook about it with a text. And of course you read it, there are pictures popping up in your own head, and they're sometimes way more colorful and vivid and sometimes even way more fantasy than the person talking or writing about it really experienced it. And this is an expectation that can hinder a lot of people to progress on their way, because they might think very fast like, oh man, nothing happens, it doesn't work out, I'm not good enough, I'm not experienced enough. And yeah, so they stop with their practice, or they are so disappointed that they think this way is nothing for them, instead of realizing that everybody experiences stuff on a totally personal and individual level. I know friends who travel the other worlds and don't have visual effects in like 3D or 4D or plastic or like IMAX cinema experiences, but they experience it through tones, through emotions, through colors, through a lot of different senses that they make their own sense based on their experience, and it works absolutely well for them. But if they would expect that every journey to the other realms would happen, as I said before, in 3D and very vivid, they would probably not even have realized that it does work for them and just put it aside. So expectations about the spiritual practice, or expectations that are raised by authors and other ones, are really, really a tricky thing that I don't think that even the ones writing about it, and I also write about it. I just recently blogged one little story on Patreon, that if somebody reads it, he might think like, wow. And it was deep, it was meaningful, but it was not probably as as IMAX as they think while they read it. And that is one of the dangers of the written word, and our ancestors were very aware of it. You cannot really transport, do you say it like that? I don't know. You cannot really transport something to the other one exactly the way you experienced it, because they have their own imaginations, and that's absolutely all right. And I give you another example of expectations. When people do a shamanic journey, for example, there are so many books out now, especially in the German-based market, about it, and they read all these experiences with the power animals, and they do the drum journey and come to their place, to their inner place of power, and look around and expect an eagle, a bear, a wolf, and don't see the little and now it comes earthworm that is down there on the ground waiting for them, because their expectation of a power animal is something big and glorious, a dragon in all its glory. And so they look around and are very disappointed because nothing is there, or not in the way they expected it to be. I took the earthworm as a personal example because that happened once to me. I made a shamanic journey to the underworld, and I called my spirit guide, and there was a rain. Now I did it again, an earthworm popping up. And if I would have not have the experience and a little bit of the knowledge, of course, that not all power animals are as big and glorious as it's always written about, I would have not seen this little worm. And he was of amazing help during this journey, because he made a tunnel through a blockage that came on the way that no other animal would have been able to do. And yeah, that was actually great, and I'm very thankful that I didn't step on the earthworm, but I really saw its power, and I didn't mind that it's a little creature. And yeah, what's funny also is, like, I have to say, the 2 weeks before, I always saved earthworms. I always saved earthworms, and probably it was already a little bit a hint. So, but anyway, if I do a journey, I don't expect anything. I don't expect the goddess to come in a glorious form and say like, oh, no. Sometimes the goddess comes through symbols, through very little hints, not even sometimes on a journey. She comes after a journey through signs, through other people. So if I would not listen to that, if I would not keep my eyes open and check out for these little signs, I would probably miss it. And maybe still sometimes I do. As I said, I'm not perfect. But yeah, expectations are a tricky thing. And that was my theme today, based on personal experience. And I hope it makes you also think a little bit. And if you liked it, give it a thumb up. If you have your own experience or comment to say, feel free to do so. And I wish you a great time. And I think this time I don't edit anything. I just put the thing up. So have a great day or evening or morning or whenever you watched it. Blessed be.